Ilera Vance, the ambitious founder and CEO of Vance Apparel, prides herself on the brand's rapid growth and sleek image. However, a nagging anonymous email detailing inhumane conditions at Phoenix Textile, her flagship manufacturing plant, triggers a discovery. Disguising herself as Lena, a new inexperienced seamstress trainee, Ilera infiltrates the factory floor. The vibrant, clean image of her brand quickly unravels as she's confronted by the deafening roar of machines, thick textile dust, and suffocating heat. She meets Lila Sharma, a quiet but incredibly skilled seamstress with tired eyes, who reluctantly guides Lena through the basics. Ilera struggles with the relentless pace, the inferior, fraying fabric she's given, and the constant pressure from supervisor Anya Petrova, whose sharp critiques and demeaning tone are particularly aimed at Lila and other immigrant workers. Ilera, whose own parents were small-scale artisans, feels a growing sense of unease as a gap between her corporate vision and the ground-level reality becomes starkly apparent. She witnesses Lila working with frayed, worn-out sewing machine pedals held together with makeshift repairs, knowing that any slowdown could jeopardize her meager pay. Ilera endures weeks of back-breaking labor. She observes the systemic issues: mandatory voluntary overtime, minimal breaks, and inadequate ventilation leading to frequent coughs among workers. The pressure to meet impossibly high quotas forces corners to be cut, resulting in visible defects in garments. A stark contrast of Vance Apparel's luxury image. Lila, despite her quiet demeanor, proves to be a beacon of resilience, often helping struggling trainees like Lena while meticulously repairing her own dilapidated machine. During a rare moment of trust, Lila confides in Lena about a previous hand injury that was dismissed as a worker error and received no proper medical care or compensation, a common occurrence. Ilera intentionally causes a minor jam in her sewing machine to witness the repair process. Instead of proper maintenance, a quick, unsafe patch job is done by a frantic technician. One evening, after hours, Ilera feigns illness to stay behind. She discreetly accesses Supervisor Anya's unattended office, finding a hidden encrypted tablet. Using her CEO-level access, she bypasses the security, uncovering a horrifying digital ledger detailing manipulated production numbers, dozens of unreported or downplayed worker injuries, and covert communications with COO Victor Thorne about maintenance deferrals and cost optimization kickbacks for supplying cheap, faulty machinery. Back in her CEO office, the Lena facade is shed, but the grim reality remains. Ilera, shaken, presents the decrypted ledger and her first-hand observations to Julian Davies, her head of legal. Julian, a stern but ethical lawyer, is visibly appalled. They meticulously cross-reference the factory's official reports with Ilera's findings, revealing a sophisticated scheme. Victor Thorne has been systematically embezzling funds allocated for equipment upgrades and safety measures, instead channeling money into shell companies he secretly controls, which then supply Phoenix Textiles with subpar machinery and materials. This also involves bribing lower-level finance personnel to approve falsified expense reports. Julian reveals that isolated complaint about safety neglect had reached his department, but Victor's carefully constructed paper trail, approved by a complicit sub-department within finance, under Victor's indirect influence, always made them appear as isolated employee negligence cases. Ilera feels a profound sense of guilt, realizing her relentless pursuit of expansion and trust in her executive team had created a blind spot, allowing this corruption to flourish, a stark betrayal of the artisan values her own parents instilled in her.
You need to understand this is your final warning.
The Starlight
your
Collection,
has to improve,
Vance Apparel's most
there will be
anticipated
consequences.
line, is due to be showcased at a high-profile international fashion event. Victor Thorne, unaware of Ilera's deep dive, pushes the Phoenix Textiles factory to its absolute limits. He demands even tighter deadlines and further cost-cutting, oblivious to the already perilous conditions.
I've told you 3 times already, this needs to be done
Lila,
by the end of the shift.
now a lead seamstress, tries to
the
voice
best I can with
concerns
the
about a
equipment
new
I
batch
have.
of fabric, even more inferior, prone to tearing and causing skin irritations, and a crucial automated embroidery machine that frequently jams, posing a significant safety risk. Supervisor Anya, following Victor's directives, brutally dismisses Lila's concerns, threatening her with dismissal. Ilera, as CEO, schedules a surprise inspection of Phoenix Textiles, strategically inviting Amelia Reed, a renowned ethical investment fund manager who is considering a major partnership with Vance Apparel. Victor attempts to sabotage Ilera's efforts by planting rumors among conservative board members that Ilera's newfound social consciousness is a distraction hurting short-term profits. Meanwhile, an anonymous video surfaces on Ilera's secure corporate channel, a chilling recording of Victor explicitly instructing Anya to silence worker complaints, especially those from the immigrant types like Sharma, and to prioritize speed over quality, regardless of the consequences. The day of the inspection, Ilera, Julian Davies, and Amelia Reed arrive at Phoenix Textiles. The factory floor is a scene of barely controlled chaos. Workers are sweating, machines are straining, and the air is thick with dust and tension.
Get away from the machine!
As they approach Lila's section,
It's gonna blow!
the faulty automated embroidery machine jams violently, spitting out frayed fabric and nearly catching Lila's hand. In a moment of raw frustration and fear, Lila, forgetting Lena, erupts, detailing months of ignored warnings, unsafe conditions, and her previous injury. Anya, flustered by the presence of Ilera and Amelia, immediately attempts to fire Lila on the spot, shouting accusations of insubordination. Ilera steps forward, taking off her Vance Apparel jacket to reveal a simple, unbranded seamstress's smock underneath, the one she wore as Lena. The stunned silence is broken by her calm, firm voice as she reveals her undercover identity and confronts Victor Thorne directly. Julian simultaneously projects the damning evidence from the tablet onto a large, portable screen set up by his team. Screenshots of embezzled funds, falsified reports, and a video of Victor's instructions. Amelia Reed, visibly horrified, pulls out her phone, immediately calling her PR team. The local press, tipped off by Julian, swarms in, cameras flashing, capturing every moment of Victor's panic face and Ilera's stark revelations. Ilera announces Victor's immediate termination and the indefinite closure of Phoenix Textiles for a complete ethical renovation, publicly admitting her own profound failure in oversight. The ensuing board meeting is a powder keg. A faction led by a long-standing board member, Mr. Sterling, the Richard Townsend equivalent, aggressively pushes for Ilera's removal, citing the factory closure's immediate financial impact and the public relations disaster.
Our projections for the next quarter show
Ilera,
significant growth
calm
in
and
key
resolute,
market segments,
presents a
driven
comprehensive
by
case.
strategic initiatives.
She details Victor's extensive embezzlement, the scale of the neglected safety issues, and the massive long-term legal and reputational damage that Vance Apparel narrowly averted. She highlights how the cost-cutting measures directly led to subpar product quality, secretly undermining the brand. Then Lila Sharma, professionally dressed but retaining her quiet dignity, steps forward. She rolls up her sleeve to reveal a faded scar on her forearm, a tangible reminder of the neglected injury she spoke of earlier. With a steady voice, she eloquently describes the human cost of negligence, the fear of speaking up, and the deep emotional toll on workers. Ilera then pivots, showcasing a pilot program she secretly ran at a smaller factory during her undercover period, a model of ethical production with new equipment, fair wages, and worker empowerment. The data is compelling. After just 3 weeks, productivity is up 28%, quality defects are down 50%, and, to the board's astonishment, operating profit has increased by 15% due to reduced waste and higher output from motivated workers. Dignity and safety aren't an expense, they're an investment, Ilera concludes. The board, swayed by the undeniable evidence, Lila's powerful testimony, Amelia Reed's silent but influential presence, and irrefutable financial data, votes almost unanimously to retain Lena as CEO. Mr. Sterling and 2 other complicit executives are removed. 3 months later, the Phoenix textiles factory reopens to much fanfare, transformed into a beacon of ethical manufacturing. State-of-the-art machinery hums efficiently, abundant natural light floods the workspace, and ergonomic workstations are visible. Lila Sharma, now beaming with quiet confidence, stands beside Lena at the inauguration of the Worker Advocacy and Quality Control Department, a new division she now heads as executive director. To applause from a diverse crowd of employees, reporters, and local officials, Lila cuts a ceremonial ribbon. She announces new initiatives, strict safety protocols, ongoing professional training, and a fully anonymous, direct channel for reporting concerns without fear of retaliation. Victor Thorne, stripped of his assets and facing multiple fraud and negligence charges, watches a news report from a cramped, rented room, a stark contrast to his former opulence. Lena receives an updated quarterly financial report. After an initial dip, Vance Apparel has seen a significant recovery, with record-breaking profits driven by increased customer loyalty and a powerful new narrative of ethical production. More importantly, employee retention and morale have skyrocketed. In a deeply symbolic gesture, Lena establishes the Sharma Institute for Artisan Training, housed in a renovated wing of the Phoenix Textiles Factory, offering scholarships and mentorship to young, aspiring garment workers from marginalized communities. She watches Lila's 2 children, bright-eyed and full of hope, tour the new training center with their mother. "My mother taught me that it's not about how many times they try to break you," Lila's eldest child tells the documentary crew, "but what you build from amended pieces that truly matters." Lena reflects on her journey, understanding that her true legacy isn't just the empire she built, but the integrity she restored, proving that genuine success is woven into the fabric of human dignity.